Okay, let's unpack this. A pretty surprising number, actually. 76% of C-suite execs, they're planning bigger budgets for influencer programs in 2025.
Yeah, that's significant. It's not just tinkering around the edges, is it? Feels like a real statement of intent from the top.
Totally. It shows a real belief, I think, that this isn't just experimental anymore, it's core.
Exactly. A core part of achieving, actual business goals, not just nice to have fluff.
Right. So, for this deep dive, we've gathered insights for you from a whole range of places: DPT, Vamp, SocialWick, Medium, Agility PR Solutions, Sprout Social, The Drum, trying to get that full picture.
Which is crucial, isn't it? Because everyone comes at it from a slightly different angle.
Yeah.
You need that mix to really understand what's happening.
So, our mission really is just to cut through all the noise, give you the key trends, the stuff that actually matters for influencer marketing next year.
Yeah, find those aha moments, the things that make you think, okay, that's important, and understand the why behind it all.
So, where do we start? I guess one of the biggest shifts we're seeing is, well, it's not just about awareness anymore, is it?
No, not at all. It's really evolving, moving much more towards a full funnel strategy, thinking about the whole journey.
Driving actual conversions and loyalty.
Precisely. That's the goal now. Not just getting your name seen, but actually influencing purchase decisions and keeping customers engaged long term.
And the data seems to back that up. Like 78% of TikTok shoppers finding products through influencers. That's huge.
It really is. It shows just how powerful influencers are on platforms like TikTok, where discovery and shopping are so tightly linked. You see it, you want it, you can often buy it right there.
DPT had that Walker's Crisps example on TikTok, the temp drop shop. Sounded really smart.
Oh yeah, that was a great one. Using UK TikTok creators to build hype for a limited edition flavor.
Creating that buzz both online and, in real life when the snacks actually hit the shelves.
Exactly. It's that perfect blend of digital excitement driving real-world action. Urgency, exclusivity. It works. It translates to sales.
Okay, so the why is changing. What about the where? It feels like it's not just Instagram anymore.
Definitely not. That's another massive shift. Influencers are diversifying, spreading their presence across different platforms, and looking for different ways to earn money, too.
You can't just rely on one platform these days, I suppose. Too risky.
It is. So you see them active on TikTok, obviously, with its massive user base and engagement.
Then you've got things like Substack for deeper content, maybe.
Yeah, newsletters, more niche communities, and YouTube Shorts. They've seen consistent growth every year since, what, 2021?
And podcasting, we can't forget that. Over 500 million listeners globally reported late last year, and millions of podcasts out there.
It's a huge landscape. Each platform offers something different audiences, different content styles, different ways to connect. Smart creators are using that mix.
And the platforms themselves are encouraging it, right? You mentioned Meta and TikTok rolling out like 10 new monetization methods in the last year or so.
Yeah, they're competing for creators,
Yeah.
offering things like tipping, subscriptions, creator funds, shopping integrations. Lots of options now.
So creators are naturally going to lean towards platforms that give them the best reach and the best ways to actually make a living.
Makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Follow the audience, follow the money.
Now, this is something I find really interesting. This idea that there's a growing split between influencers and creators.
Yeah.
What's the difference there, really?
It's becoming a more important distinction, especially for brands. Think of influencers, maybe like a Molly May or a Kylie Jenner, as personalities first, who also create content. Their power often lies in massive reach, brand awareness.
Okay, big names, broad visibility.
Right. Whereas creators think Amelia Dimoldenberg with her chicken shop date, or maybe Sean Evans from Hot Ones, they're more about the content first, with personality built around that specific content.
So they might have a more dedicated audience around their specific niche or format.
Exactly. And that often makes them really strong for driving engagement and, crucially, conversions within that specific area of interest.
So if a brand just wants sheer eyeballs, maybe an influencer works. But for targeted action, a creator might be better.
That's often the calculation, yes.
Yeah.
It really depends on the brand's specific goal. Are you launching something broad, or are you trying to convert a very specific audience? Knowing the difference helps you pick the right partner.
Okay, so goals are shifting, platforms are diversifying, the types of people are diverging. How on earth do you measure success in all this? It used to feel so vague.
It did, like chasing shadows sometimes. But thankfully, we are seeing a definite shift towards more sophisticated measurement and trying to unify it.
Moving beyond just counting likes and followers, I hope. Those vanity metrics.
Absolutely. The focus is shifting to demonstrating real business value. So a few key things are happening. First, realizing there's no single magic KPI. It has to align with the campaign goal.
Makes sense. Different goals, different metrics.
Right. Second, using metrics that show actual value, things like EMV, earned media value, trying to put a dollar figure on the impact, or even just looking at value per pound or dollar spent.
Okay, looking at the return.
Exactly. Third, valuing resonance over just reach. How deeply did the message connect, not just how many people potentially saw it?
Quality over quantity, in a way.
Pretty much. And then there's using MarTech, marketing technology, to try and figure out the incrementality. Did the influencer campaign actually add value beyond what other marketing was doing?
Isolating the impact. That's the tricky part.
It is, but the tools are getting better. And finally, it all circles back to having that clear business objective from the start. What are we actually trying to achieve here?
Okay, that framework makes a lot more sense than just follower counts. Now, AI, it's everywhere. How's it impacting influencer marketing?
It's definitely making its mark. AI is going to be huge for streamlining processes, making things more efficient. But, this is important, it's likely going to remain a support function.
So it's not going to replace the human element entirely.
I don't think so, because fundamentally, influencer marketing is built on human connection, relationships, trust. AI can't replicate that genuine connection.
Okay, so where is it helpful? What kind of tasks?
Think about the grunt work. Influencer discovery, sifting through thousands of profiles. AI can analyze content, understand audience demographics, check past performance, even flag brand safety issues, way faster than the human can.
Right, finding the right people, vetting them.
Exactly. Image recognition, video analysis, audience segmentation, predicting campaign success. AI can crunch that data incredibly well. It helps brands make smarter, faster decisions about who to partner with.
So it frees up humans to focus on the relationship building, the creative strategy.
That's the ideal scenario, yes. Let AI handle the data-heavy lifting. Let humans manage the nuances of collaboration and creativity.
Okay. Now, what about brands themselves? Are their strategies evolving too?
They are. We're seeing more brands getting bolder, jumping on niche trends in real time to connect with specific groups. That can be effective.
Is there a risk of just getting lost if everyone's doing the same trend?
Absolutely. That's the challenge. Just chasing trends can lead to a lot of noise. So the leading brands are doing something more sophisticated. They're integrating influencers into broader multi-channel campaigns.
Making it part of a bigger picture, not just a one-off trend post.
Precisely. It's about differentiation. How do you stand out when everyone's talking about the same thing? You need that unique angle, that creative integration.
Vamp mentioned that GIF-GAF campaign, are you on GIF-GAF or something, where influencers adapted the tagline in their own style.
Yeah, that's a great example. A simple, flexible core idea that creators could run with authentically across different platforms, but it's still tied back strongly to the brand. Smart.
It's about consistency, but allowing for creativity.
Exactly. Much more impactful than just saying, hey, talk about this trend.
We mentioned AI as a tool.
Yeah.
But it sounds like there's a potential dark side too, a bit of a double-edged sword.
There definitely is. On the one hand, huge opportunities. AI could accelerate ideation, streamline workflows, automate tasks. Even creators themselves will use AI to boost their creativity.
Faster content, maybe more personalized stuff?
Potentially.
Yes.
But the trade-off, the risk, is relying too heavily on it. You could end up with this flood of AI-driven content that all looks and feels the same, lacking that human spark, that originality.
Formulaic content. Content that doesn't really connect.
That's the danger. If AI becomes a crutch, a one-stop shop for creativity, you could see audience fatigue set in really quickly. It might be efficient, but is it effective? Is it memorable?
It's like that uncanny valley effect almost. It looks right, but something feels off.
A good analogy. AI is a powerful assistant, maybe even a co-creator, but it shouldn't be the sole author if you want genuine connection.
Which ties into another trend, this idea of entertainment-led marketing. Seems like just pushing product info isn't enough anymore.
It really isn't. People are bombarded with information. To cut through, you need to entertain, make them feel something. Entertainment drives attention, engagement, and crucially, memory recall.
So brands need to be bolder, more creative.
Definitely. Think less like advertisers, more like entertainers or storytellers. And AI can help here, powering ideation, helping with production, creating cool visuals.
But again, with that same caution.
Exactly. AI can generate ideas, but the quality of the entertainment, the genuine creativity, still needs that human oversight to avoid it feeling generic or repetitive. Audiences are smart. They'll tune out manufactured fun.
Okay. Now, something I wasn't expecting quite as much the growth in B2B creators. Influencer marketing for business to business.
Yes, it's really taking off and getting more sophisticated. Especially on LinkedIn short-form video, there's booming for B2B. But also YouTube, even TikTok is seeing B2B content discovery.
So, industry experts, thought leaders, becoming influencers in their own right.
Exactly. And what's interesting is the style that works. It's often less corporate, more personality-driven. People still want to connect with people, even in a business context. Authenticity matters.
So, B2B content is becoming less dry, more engaging.
That's the trend. More personality, more relatable insights. Brands are finding that partnering with credible B2B creators is a powerful way to reach niche professional audiences and build trust within an industry.
That makes a lot of sense. You trust someone who sounds like they know their stuff and are passionate about it.
Precisely. It builds credibility in a way traditional B2B ads often struggle to.
Okay, here's a platform shift that could really change things. Search and sharing becoming more important than just scrolling.
Yeah, this is a big one. Platforms like TikTok and Instagram seem to be tweaking their algorithms to prioritize content that people actively search for, or content that gets shared a lot within networks.
Less passive consumption, more active discovery.
Seems like it. It means just making pretty content and hoping the algorithm picks it up might not be enough anymore.
So what do brands and creators need to do?
Strategy needs to adapt. Focus on making content shareable. What makes someone want to send this to a friend? And think about discoverability. What terms are people actually searching for? Incorporate those.
So SEO for social media almost. And creating genuinely valuable or entertaining stuff people want to pass on.
Exactly. It's about understanding user intent. Why are they searching? Why would they share? Align your content with that, and you'll likely get better visibility as platforms evolve this way.
And closely related to that, perhaps, is this focus on community for conversions.
Yes. It ties in perfectly. Creators are often brilliant community builders. They foster these spaces around shared interests or values.
And those communities are built on trust and engagement, right?
Absolutely. So the idea is, instead of brands trying to build a community from scratch, which is hard.
They can tap into existing relevant communities nurtured by creators.
Exactly. Find those niche communities that align with your brand values and work with the creator to engage authentically within that space. It's often more effective for driving real connection and ultimately conversions than just broadcasting a message.
Becoming part of the conversation, not just interrupting it.
Well put. It's about adding value to that community.
Okay, let's zoom out. The whole influencer marketing industry. It's still growing like crazy, right? Not slowing down.
Not at all. The numbers are pretty staggering. Some sources put the projected value for 2025 at over $32 billion. Others estimated $24 billion by the end of 2024. Huge growth, significant CAGR.
Wow. So it's definitely not a fad. It's a major part of the marketing landscape.
Undeniably. It's maturing, becoming more integrated.
And with all this complexity, different platforms, metrics, creator types, AI, is this where agencies become really important?
Increasingly so. For many brands, navigating this is becoming too complex to handle effectively in-house. Agencies bring that specialized expertise.
What kind of expertise specifically?
Everything from identifying the right influencers, developing platform-specific content strategies, understanding the data and analytics, ensuring legal compliance. It's a lot.
So they're not just middlemen, they're strategic partners.
Good ones are yes. They provide that guidance and execution needed to get results in this dynamic space.
And you mentioned the definition of influencer is broadening, barriers coming down.
Yeah, because platforms make it easier for anyone with a passion and a phone to build an audience. So you get more niche voices, more diversity, including those B2B experts we talked about, and even employee influencers.
People sharing their authentic experiences from inside a company.
Exactly. That's becoming really powerful.
Which brings us to micro and nano influencers. Sounds like the focus is shifting towards smaller, more engaged audiences.
It really is. Away from just chasing mega celebrities, brands are seeing huge value in micro-influencers, say 10K to 100K followers, and nano-influencers, even under 10K.
Why? What's the advantage?
Often much higher engagement rates. Their audiences tend to be more niche, more trusting. It allows for hyper-local campaigns, more authentic feeling endorsements.
Because it feels less like a giant ad campaign and more like a recommendation from someone you relate to?
Precisely. And brands are often building longer-term relationships with these creators, which leads to better, more integrated content. One stat suggested 44% of brands preferred working with nanos in 2024.
44%. That's huge. It shows a real belief in that authentic, smaller scale connection.
It does. Better results, often better ROI, deeper connection.
And that connection goes even deeper with this next trend. Influencers involved in product development.
Yeah, this is really smart. Instead of just bringing influencers in at the end to promote a finished product.
Get them involved earlier in
Yeah.
the design, the innovation.
Exactly. They know their audience inside out. What do they want? What are their pain points? Brands are leveraging that insight.
Gymshark and Whitney Simmons is a classic example, right?
Perfect example. Her collections, co-created with Gymshark, consistently sell out because they're built on her understanding of what her fitness community actually wants to wear and use.
Yeah, it builds trust, authenticity,
Yeah,
and probably leads to a better product.
absolutely. Win-win.
Okay, and shifting from products to experiences. Brand activations are changing too. Less flashy parties.
Definitely a move away from just extravagant, maybe slightly empty events. More focus now on meaningful, community-centric experiences.
What does that mean in practice?
Thinking about things like sustainability, diversity, inclusion, creating experiences that make fans feel genuinely valued, part of something bigger, rather than just props and a marketing stunt, aligning with values.
Making it feel more real
Yeah.
and maybe more responsible.
Exactly. Especially for younger audiences, those things really matter. Brand values are increasingly important.
Okay. Content formats. Video podcasts. Still going strong.
Thriving. Their accessibility is key. You can watch them easily on YouTube, clips on TikTok, Instagram. They don't have to switch apps necessarily.
Plus, you get the visual element, which adds another layer.
Right. And they're super versatile for creators. Easy to clip, share, repurpose across different platforms. That Spotify stat, nearly 2/3 of users preferring video podcasts in 2024, says a lot.
Visuals still rule, it seems.
In many ways, yes. Video pods hit that sweet spot between intimate audio and engaging visuals.
Speaking of visuals, throwback content. Nostalgia is making a comeback.
Big time. Nostalgia marketing is powerful. It taps into those warm, fuzzy feelings, creates emotional connections.
And it's getting
Yeah.
grittier. That camcorder resurgence thing. Lower quality, less polished.
Yeah, it's fascinating. That slightly blurry, shaky camcorder look feels very authentic, very raw, almost like a reaction against hyper-polished perfection.
Tarte gave out camcorders on a brand trip. That's committing to the aesthetic.
It is. It creates a specific vibe, strengthens that emotional connection through a shared memory or feeling of a past era.
And finally, before we get into the really futuristic stuff, employee-generated content, EGC. Why is that gaining traction?
Trust. Simple as that. People tend to trust employees more than official brand channels or polished ads. They offer that authentic, behind-the-scenes glimpse.
Humanizing the brand.
Exactly. Shows the real people, the real culture. Duolingo's social media is often highlighted here. Their team uses trends, humor, personality, makes the brand feel approachable.
Like you're getting an inside look.
Yep. And that builds credibility.
Okay, now for the slightly more sci-fi corner. AI influencers and the metaverse. Where are we with those?
Still emerging, but definitely growing. Virtual influencers like Lil Miquela or Ludu Magalu in Brazil are gaining followers and brand deals, especially in fashion, tech, gaming.
What's the appeal for brands? Control.
Control's a big one. Consistent messaging, available 24/7, no personal scandals, potentially cost-effective long-term. They can be customized, reach global audiences easily.
But the downsides. Authenticity must be a major one.
Huge. Can an AI truly connect emotionally? Probably not. Then there are ethical questions. Transparency. Is it clear it's not a real person? Data privacy. Plus, the initial creation cost can be high.
So interesting, but maybe not replacing humans just yet.
Not across the board, no.
Yeah.
And the metaverse? Well, it's still developing, but brands are experimenting with it for immersive experiences, especially to reach younger, digitally native audiences. Virtual stores, events, games.
More experimental for now.
Largely, yes. And related to the AI influencer point, we're definitely seeing that continued shift away from relying solely on mega celebrities.
Back to those nano, micro, macro influencers with the more engaged communities.
Exactly. Better ROI, more targeted reach, more authentic connection often comes from those tiers.
Okay, one last big trend. Social commerce. Buying stuff directly within social apps.
Yes, and especially live shopping. It's booming on platforms like YouTube, TikTok, Instagram.
What makes live shopping so effective?
It creates this immersive, interactive experience. There's urgency, limited time deals. You can ask questions in real time. It feels like an event.
Drives impulse buys.
Definitely.
Oh.
It blends entertainment with shopping seamlessly. Some analysts think live shopping could be like 20% of all e-commerce sales in the next couple of years.
Wow, that's a massive chunk. So social platforms are becoming storefronts.
Increasingly, yes. The lines are blurring.
Okay, that was a lot. So many different threads weaving together. It really feels like influencer marketing has grown up, become much more strategic.
It absolutely has.
Yeah.
You see these clear themes emerging: authenticity, community, strategic diversification, using tech like AI thoughtfully. It's a complex but really interesting space right now.
So the final thought for you listening. With all these changes, this rapid evolution, how do you navigate it? Whether you're a brand trying to leverage influence, a creator building your presence, or just someone trying to understand this digital world.
Yeah. How can you best use this power of influence in the year ahead? Which of these trends feel most relevant to your world? Definitely something to mull over.
So that was our deep dive into the key shifts for influencer marketing in 2025. We've covered a lot, from platform diversification and new measurement approaches.
To the impact of AI, the rise of niche creators, B2B influence, community building, social commerce, the whole gamut, really.
Hopefully you've now got a clearer, more informed view of this dynamic field, something to help you make sense of what's coming next.
We definitely encourage you to think about the trends we discussed. Maybe dig deeper into one or two that really caught your attention. AI influencers, perhaps, or the B2B creator economy, or that camcorder resurgence. Consider how they might apply to you.